put them in the truck, and I'm driving down the freeway. I'm coming down the 10, like I'm coming from Disneyland. I'm coming from the 5, like I'm coming from Disneyland, and I got KFI, 64 KFI on, playing top 40 radio, because at that time the AM radio still was AM radio. That you still had popular and top 40 music, and so I'm got that international DC Delco radio turned all the way up. It's lousy, and I'm having a great time. And this Stutz Bearcat passes me up in the fast lane. Now that's that car that kind of looks like an Eldorado, but it's really fancy. And it was a custom built car for the time, and it was called a Stutz Bearcat. And these were like the Bugattis. These were like the Ferraris of the time. This is before all the European cars came in, and it was very expensive car, Stutz Bearcat. And so he went way ahead of me, and I go, wow, that's a great looking car. I never saw it before. So I sped up to get a better look at it, and I wasn't getting a close enough look. So I crashed into the back end of the Stutz Bearcat and drove him into the center steel divider in the freeway, and then was able to stop him and myself and get a really good look at the car with the neighbor's truck.
Like I said,
yes,
you should take up drinking.
I know,
because nobody would believe that. Unless you were drunk,
and I wasn't, and that's the thing.
I don't know what to say about that. You leave me speechless.
And you know who this guy was?
Who?
He was the guy
that you hit earlier?
No. Yeah, right. In the 68.
In the Pinto.
In the Pinto, right. Just my luck, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, he was the guy who built the Bonaventure Hotel downtown, the right there. Yeah. It's not called the Bonaventure. I think it's the Wiltern or the Hilton or something.
Yeah, I remember the Bonaventure.
Bonaventure Hotel downtown. He was the guy that developed that, and he was the guy that was redeveloping Marina Del Rey's harbor to modernize it.
Really?
A wealthy developer guy, right?
And you ram in the back.
Of all guys to ram into. The cost of repairing that car was so expensive that the full coverage on my dad's insurance, which I was under, and Mr. Wood's insurance didn't cover it. So the guy called my father, because it was different time. You changed numbers.
Yeah.
It was just different time.
Right.
Guy calls the house. My mom picks up the phone like a week later when they found out it wasn't going to be covered. The guy makes an idle threat to my father, and that was the wrong thing. That was the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
And
wasn't good.
That wasn't good. That wasn't a good thing to do. You don't know who my father was, but that wasn't a good thing to do. And well, what eventually happened was we got his car fixed and everything. The bottom line is, I could not borrow a lawnmower from anybody in the neighborhood for a decade.
At least.
They wouldn't even let me borrow a lawnmower.
But you know what? If you had run into the back of my car with a Pinto, I would have just whipped your ass. I wouldn't care about the insurance. What? The audacity to run into somebody in a Pinto. Are you kidding me? One of the most uncool cars ever made.
But it was popular.
Yeah, because it was dirt cheap.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
And I love that car.
Oh, no, they were horrible, man.
No, not what I did to the car. I redesigned the whole car.
Oh, well, okay. Maybe you could get by with that.
Yeah, the only thing that was Pinto was the shell. Everything else was something else inside. Roll bars, drop to the ground, McPherson struts, a V6 engine in it, a positive traction rear end with a Huffy slap shifter. Yeah. I mean, I redid that whole car inside. Move the gas tank forward. This was before we knew they were exploding. But I just moved because we needed to move the gas tank forward because we needed a bigger gas tank.
Right.
But so that's kind of how that went. But yeah, a Pinto. Yes, I had a Pinto. Yes. I was a Pinto man.
Yeah, don't admit that to anyone else, okay?
I don't think anybody even knows what the Pintos were.
Well, anybody our age would remember, and I think everyone would agree that it was really not a cool car.
I made it cool because
it was right there in the same category of a Rambler.
Or maybe a Vega.
Yeah.
Vegas weren't cool cars.
No, not at all.
That was not a cool car.
Not at all.
No, I liked my Pinto. And Mama T liked it too.
And or the Corvair that had the rear engine.
Yeah, that was
garbage also.
they flipped because, hey, we're on Periscope. We just got that hooked up. Thanks a lot, guys. And we're on Instagram Live, and we're on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, and on YouTube Live, the Power Voices and the Power Voices website, as well as AV Entertainment Live's website, and so many others, live stream and Snapchat and all that stuff. Okay, the world according to Terrero right now. I got to talk about something here that's disturbing to me, and maybe what I'm going to say is going to be disturbing to you. But I can't help but being me, Jesse T, and I'm going to put you straight on the point, at least from my point of view, about what's taking place in England. It is a tragedy among tragedies because they've had 3 terrorist attacks in that country this year alone, and the last 2 were almost back-to-back. I mean, we're talking just a couple of weeks apart. The terror attack that happened over the weekend that killed even more people and maimed even more people. And the London police, 90%, which I did not know this, 90% of the London police do not carry a firearm. 90% of them don't carry firearms. Now, like, what dimwit was drinking too much ale in England to not arm their police force in 2017? Now, go figure that one out. Well, the screaming left-wing liberal lunatics, progressive numbskulls of England, which has allowed the immigration to the point where they have 3,000 Islamic jihadists that they've been able to represent that are Islamic jihadists in England right now. And the coppers don't have guns. And in fact, there's one story about this one police officer who was an ex-rugby player. So he's a big guy. Rugby players are big guys, and they're in great shape. And they're not like American football players, you know, big guys who got big bellies. These rugby players are big guys who look like, you know, Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they can run. All right, these are huge men. This guy, with his baton, took on like 10 cats with knives. Took them all on. He eventually got himself stabbed like a dozen times, and he's barely hanging on to life. Heroic things like this, and they're not armed. So here we go again. We're in a world war, ladies and gentlemen. This is World War III. It is here and now, and it is starting in Europe, here and now, right now, and it is coming over to this country because we've already been affected by it. The bombing of the World Trade Towers and the earlier bombing of the World Trade Towers when the sheik, the blind sheik, decided he wanted to shake, and try to knock down one of the buildings with a car bomb, a van bomb, and it didn't work back in the early 90s. So we have terrorist activities in Florida, in San Bernardino. We have so many terrorist activities happening in our country that we don't even know about because the CIA and the FBI and all the police agencies and forces are helping us protect us. And we got 2 giant oceans and a North Pole on one side, and we need to build a wall on the south side. So we're completely encompassed with barriers that both are natural and man-made, in my opinion. So here we go again. We're in World War III already. Now, this is my monologue on this today because I have to speak to this the only way that I know how, and that's me, Jesse T. It's Islam against Christianity. That is World War III. The only question is this. Are the American people ready to win this war? That's really it. I've said right along, so goes America, so goes the rest of the world. Is the American citizen ready to win this war and preserve our country? Do we really want to win? Or are we going to act like England and France and Germany and Norway and Portugal? Are we going to act like Amsterdam, like Holland? Are we going to act like Greece? Are we going to act with ferociousness and vicious, aggressive, attacking behavior and kill every one of those psychopath killers? Now look at guys. If you do not believe me, I'm going to say this. And it's going to be controversial. All of Islam is our enemy. If that is not true, then please somebody answer this simple question for me. How come there has never been, and there is not any pushback at all by the so-called moderate and or good Muslims to the same degree as the psychopath Islamic killers continue to push, kill, and get stronger and stronger every day around God's blue-green earth? If Islam is not our enemy, then where are all the good Muslims? Why aren't they protesting in the streets? Why aren't they out fighting these scumbags within their cultural, religious, spiritual groups? Why are they not ousting them? Where are they? You don't see them anywhere. Everybody's quiet. So you tell me, what does that say? Are they afraid? Are they living in fear? Well, you don't fight fear by putting your head in a closet. You fight fear by facing it and destroying fear and conquering it. And you pay the price. Where are all the good Muslims? I don't see any of you people protesting and marching and to the millions across the urban cities in this country. I don't see that happening. I don't see anybody on loudspeakers. I don't see anybody pointing the finger and saying, he is a killer, jihadist, Islamic crazy person. I don't see any of that. So please tell me that we're not in war against Islam. That Islam is not our enemy. It is. It's just that simple. It is simple. Tell you what, let's paint a big Christian cross on the front of your house and allow all these illegal and legal Muslims to come on over, give them free housing on your street, and you make sure that that cross is lit up night and day with loudspeakers that are talking about Jesus Christ on your street, and have them move right in next to you and see what happens. See what happens. I can tell you what happens. What's going to happen is you're going to be fighting every single day. As far as I'm concerned, I'm for stopping all of them. Stopping all of them from all the Muslim countries around the world from entering this nation. As far as I'm concerned, Trump is a kindergarten response. As far as I'm concerned, we need to keep them all out until we can super vet every single one of them before they get here. Because, see, here's the problem. We don't know within that religious sect, we don't know who the good guys are, and we don't know who the bad guys are. Because the good guys don't snitch on the bad guys, and the good guys let the bad guys continue to do stuff, and you never know when a good guy's going to become a bad guy. You never know, and you very rarely hear a bad guy ever becoming a good guy, so you never know who's good or bad. You might be talking to them, and they might be good to you, and then when you turn around, they put a knife in your back because they're actually a bad guy. See, you don't know who's a bad guy or a good guy. So as far as I'm concerned, if you don't know who a good guy or a bad guy is in anything, then you don't let any of them in until you can figure out some litmus test to figure out who a good guy is and who a bad guy is. Because certainly I don't want any bad guys around me, and I don't want any good guys that can turn into bad guys at a moment's notice. Because the worst thing you can be facing is somebody who doesn't care. Somebody who's a fanatic. That's the worst thing you can face. If they don't care about their life, they're very dangerous. I think we need to clean house of all of them. I think we need to vet every single Muslim and Islam person in America. Sorry. Too bad. Because you people who are good are not policing your own. And England is a perfect example, because England is the closest thing in the world to America in terms of how they act as people. This country and England are forever tied together. They're our biggest ally. They're our closest representation of how people respond in America. That's England. You give cops batons? What in the hell is wrong with you? Unbelievable. For me, it's a real simple equation. Protecting this country is the bottom line. If we don't protect this country against killers that want to destroy our way of life in every way, shape, and form, then the world is lost. And it's coming. It's coming. Now, I might be so out there that I say, all Islamists, all Muslims, you got to look at. Well, I kind of like what Reagan said about the Russians, the dirty commie rat bastard Russians. The evil empire. Many of you weren't even alive when he said that. Our enemy is the evil empire. That's what he called them. And they asked him, well, how do you do deals with the Russians if they're the evil empire? He said, I verify, then I trust. I never trust unless I verify. So let's put it in 2017 terms. Before I let people in my country, I vet them. I do not trust them when they come from a certain section of the world that wants to kill us and is represented to us that they will kill us, that they will kill everybody to get their agenda. I do not trust them. So I need to vet them. I do not believe them. So I need to super vet them. Protecting our country is the bottom line. Because each and every one of you and me live in our country. We need to protect this country against any invaders that want to hurt us and change our life by the sword and by the satchel bomb and by the body bomb. The Quran talks way too much about killing and death and invasion and conquering and taking over. It's not really more like a religious book. It's more like a treatise on war, like Sun Tzu and the Art of War, which is a 5,000-year-old treatise that a great Chinese general that conquered all and defended the Chinese empire wrote, that every military school in the world studies Sun Tzu. This many thousands of years later, he was so absolutely perfect and a genius. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The Quran is basically an art of war against anybody who is not a believer, is an infidel. And they're damn proud to tell you. And if they aren't, then we're the ones that are going to speak up about this country, about England, about the righteous good in people. Where are you? You bunch of pansies. You bunch of crybaby, whiny sissies, backstabbers. I can think of a lot of words to call you. Stand up. Fight for right. But you don't, do you? I call you all out. So what do? In my opinion, you stop the bleed. Shut down all immigration until we can figure how to figure who the enemy is within that cultural, spiritual, religious sect in this world. Sorry. When you don't know who your enemy is, then everybody is your enemy. And you treat them as such until you find out who your friends truly are. And friendship comes from deeds and acts, not words. I want to see the Muslims in America get out in the street and protest. I want to see them carry the placards. I want to see them say the things against those killers within their society that are doing this. That's what I want to see. So say I. That's me, Jesse T. And that's the world, according to Torero. Now, you're straight on the point. And will some billionaire out there please go buy weapons for the English police force? Love to see your comments at facebook.com/Jesse Torero. Instagram Live, thanks a lot for having us on. Also Periscope, thanks a lot for having us on. Serious subjects for serious times. Like to know what you feel about it. This is the Jesse T Show every Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6. Kicking off a Monday, just had to say something that got me a little aggravated and agitated over the weekend here. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Time for cowardice acts or no more, my friends. We need to stand up and be heroes. That's what it's time for. Action. Aggressive action in an aggressive way to put down those that don't want you to exist anymore. You can always catch us. We do archive all the shows. And of course, you can catch us on the archive. We drop it at facebook.com/Jesse Torero. It archives up automatically. And also, it archives up at the Power of Voices on YouTube Live. So we've got a couple spots there where you always can check out the shows from the past and always refer to them and throw some tomatoes at me, Jesse T, because I know a lot of you probably want to throw some tomatoes at me, Jesse T. I mean, who will be the first one that wants to throw some tomatoes at me? That's for sure. No doubt about that. But that's okay. I got to say what I got to say. And that's how I roll. Got to say what I got to say. So always remember, we check in all the time, Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6. And this week, oh my goodness, we got some great guests coming in this week, starting tomorrow. It is going to be a fun-packed weekend and a fun-packed week because so goes your week, so goes your weekend. So we got a good line of guests coming in, and one of them is one of the greatest boxing champions of all time. One of the very best kickboxing champions of all time. In fact, some say he was the greatest kickboxing champion of all time. And I knew this family when I was a youngster growing up in Pacoima and Sun Valley. I knew that everybody knew this family, the Euclides family. And boy, Benny Euclides was a 5-time champion. Wow, this guy was unbelievable. Benny Euclides, if you ever want to see a great fighter, a guy that had a jaw like a piece of granite, a guy that could take the punishment and dish it out, a guy that was energy bound and never stopped the attack. You've got to check out Benny Euclides, Benny the Jet Euclides, the finest, best kickboxing champion ever. In fact, he was Bobby Chacon world champion Bobby Chacon's boxing partner. They both grew up in the San Fernando Pacoima area. So Benny Urquidez was really something, and he's going to be in here. That's right, Benny the Jet Urquidez and his wife, and also AJ is going to be in here too, hanging out with us and checking things out. And AJ is a promoter of a program, a boxing and kickboxing match that's happening right here in Burbank, California. It's going to be taking place on the 18th of June. And we're looking forward to that because we're making arrangements. We're going to be the ring announcers, the play-by-play announcers, the commentary. Jolton J, Jeff Langton, who's a boxing aficionado, he's going to be out there with my color guy, and I'm going to be doing the blow-by-blow of great fights. They've got 13 fights starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on June 18th, Father's Day, at the Marriott in Burbank. And the main event is going to be a terrific boxing event and a terrific kickboxing event. So they're combining boxing and kickboxing at this event. So there will be a potpourri of fighters that specialize in kickboxing and fighters that specialize in boxing. It's going to be a great card. And we're looking forward to being able to bring that to you on thepowerofvoices.com. We're also looking forward to be able to bring that to you on AVTV Live as we become their distributor of their product worldwide. So we'll be on social network sites, Facebook.com, Instagram, Livestream, and Periscope as we broadcast live from the arena at the Marriott in Burbank. And we're going to have Benny and his wife, and also she's a shaman that is. So hopefully we'll get a blessing. So, shamans are cool. She got a lot to say. And we're going to have AJ and his wife come on in, and we're going to talk about this and just talk about boxing, and it's going to be a great show. So we invite you to tune in tomorrow right here on the Jesse T Show at 5 o'clock. And you can get your tickets right now. You can go on my page at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero and see the flyers that we have up for them. It's going to be a terrific fight. We want you to be there because we're bringing back boxing to the Northeast San Fernando Valley. And I'll tell you something, some great boxers and fighters came out of the Northeast San Fernando Valley years past. We're talking about like Indian Red Lopez, Bobby Chacon. We're talking about Benny the Jet Urquidez. So many great champions have come out of the Northeast San Fernando Valley here in Los Angeles. So we're bringing back boxing and kickboxing to the Northeast San Fernando Valley and reigniting some of these great fighters. You know, boxing is really great for kids. It's really great for kids who kind of, you know, need something to help them get along in their life. It really provides a lot of youngsters with the ability to learn some great lessons, to work hard, to be dedicated, to understand honor and morality and ethic and good sportsmanship. It teaches everything and gets you in great shape and teaches you how to protect yourself and fight. So it's a terrific, terrific opportunity. And this is all done for our nonprofit. The nonprofit is for kidneys. And you can check out our website at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero for that and get going on that. But tomorrow we're going to have Benny the Jet Urquidez coming on in. I'm so proud to have him. He taught me how to box when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. He was already a champion, world champion. He'd come down to the Boys and Girls Club and he'd help us kids out. So that was kind of fun. And I went on to learn how to box some more and do some more of the combat fighting arts myself. But you got to check that out, okay? Also, on Wednesday of this week, I'm so proud to have the opportunity to invite Dana Beeson. Now, Dana Beeson, you may not know who she is, but she is the woman in charge of all of the City of Beverly Hills community events and special events, activities for the City of Beverly Hills. That's her title. She's the public relations person and the person in charge of all this. And there's so many great things to go to in Beverly Hills, just besides going down Rodeo Avenue and Cannon Drive and, Star Gawkin, right? There's all kinds of cool stuff to do. And Beverly Hills puts on some great free programs. And it's just a great place to go hang out with the family. The police are there, as you might imagine. It's a safe environment, and it's just terrific. They've got some terrific events coming up, art shows and car shows. Just terrific. We were up at the Greystone Manor, Dan the Man, the Road Dog King, and I, and we brought that to you live here, and it's in our timeline just down a little bit farther. And you can check out the Concours d'Elegance. We were there, and we got a chance to see a bunch of great cars, and in that respect. So, these are the kind of events that they put on, and you're invited to come to. So we're going to get the lowdown from our gal, Dana Beeson is going to be checking in on Wednesday. It's going to be a great show. We invite you to tune in on that show as well. On Thursday, just after the Jesse T show, we're going to be traveling down there. Man, the Road Dog King and I, we're going to be traveling down to the San Fernando Valley and talk to one of the very finest acting coaches in Los Angeles, in Hollywood. She has been around for a long time. Bobby Chance. We're going to go check out Bobby Chance, and she's going to give me some acting lessons online and on live here as we broadcast live after the show on AVTV Live, the Digital Broadcasting TV Network, and Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, and Instagram Live. So we're going to be interviewing some great producers who are up there looking for talent. So if you're an actor or an actress and you're looking to meet some great producers, you may want to check out the show. We're going to give you the lowdown, how to get in touch with these people. Also, Bobby Chance has got some great showcases. A lot of her people, they work a lot. She has actors all over the spectrum in films and TV and cable and web series and daytime soaps. She really covers the whole gamut with her students, and she's a terrific lady, so knowledgeable. So we're going to talk some inside Hollywood and maybe do some acting tricks and learn some acting techniques. So that's going to be Thursday after the show. We're looking to bring maybe actor Cy Richardson in. I'm working on Cy Richardson for the Thursday Jesse T show from 5 to 6. Cy's just a terrific actor. He's when they don't want to pay Morgan Freeman, they go get Cy Richardson, and he's just been a great character actor. He was the author or the writer for The Posse, starring Mario Van Peebles. That was one of the very first all African-American cowboy movies. It was a terrific movie, too. I remember I used to work out the scenes with him as he would write them when he lived in Panorama City. Of course, he lives somewhere much finer now in terms of, his location, though Panorama City kind of turned into a tough area. But he used to write these scenes, and I used to go over to his apartment, and I'd help him act out, or I'd act out the scenes and all the characters for him so he could get an idea of the flow of these scenes he was writing. And that was the movie Posse. So he was a guy in Repo Man and so many other great movies, TV series, commercials. And Cy Richardson, a good acting coach himself, too, as well. So he'll be, we're trying to get him in and lock it down for Thursday here on the Jesse T show. Other shows coming up here over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be headed out to the Peterson Museum, the car museum. We're working on that for you. Also, we've got the Love Doctor coming in. That's right, the Love Doctor. Yo, we're going to learn some love secrets. And boy, Jesse T needs some new love secrets, 2017 style, that's for sure. We're going to learn some love secrets with the Love Doctor. Renee is going to be checking in here, and we're booking her when she gets back here from vacation. So that's going to be fun here in June. Also, we're going to be broadcasting live from the Redemption Process Award Show and After Party, which you're invited to go to. And we're going to be broadcasting live, of course, at the show for the boxing show and the big event coming up. And all that's on our website at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Okay, so lots of good things coming up here as we start to roll into summer, baby. Saying hi to our friends David Lockhart as well. And David's got a thing called Artist Palooza, and we're going to be trying to hook up with him later on this week. He's an artist, a musician, a writer, director. He's got some terrific movies out that are doing real well internationally, and they're starting to grow here locally. So David Lockhart, we've had him in here as an interview, and of course the movie that he wrote called Lockhart. So we had him in here. And I will give myself a little pump here. Willoughby, a movie that I was in last year, that we shot last year, is going to be coming out in August, and we'll be at the premiere there and doing the red carpet for Willoughby. And Ruben Soto, the director-writer of this movie, he was kind enough to give me a part in there, and it was a lot of fun. So we'll let you know more about that as time goes on. So busy, 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 and we enjoy for you to be a part of it, and we look forward to you telling everybody about what we're doing here on the Jesse T Show and the powerofvoices.com, the Global Radio Network, and ABTV Live, and the Digital Broadcast TV Network. All right, let's talk about a few things here that I think are very interesting. How come teenagers aren't working anymore? Have you noticed that most of the jobs, well, look at illegal immigration is way down now, something like almost over 20% since Trump took office. Most Mexicans and South Americans, they're not coming here like they used to. In fact, many of them by the millions are going home. So illegal immigration is down. So some of these jobs that were available for teenagers and then were replaced by adults are now coming back to teenagers. And the job market looks real good this year in the summertime for teenage jobs. Unfortunately, though, what's taking place is a lot of teenagers of this generation aren't working. And there's a big question as to why teenagers of this generation aren't working. For baby boomers, and that's what I was, and Generation X or Y, the generation right after us, the summer job was sort of like a rite of passage. It was like, that was the time that you stepped out and got to make some money, put it in your pocket, got to have some independence, and it was kind of cool. My first jobs were, I worked at a market, Bob's Market, local market, and then I worked at Eddie Lips 76 Union on the corner of Coldwater Canyon and Sherman Way. And it's funny, when I was, I worked there for a couple of years to junior college when I was playing ball in junior college, then got a scholarship to play football in college. It's funny, I met Playboy Playmate of the Year 1975 there at Eddie Lips 76 Union on Coldwater Canyon, or Witset, and Sherman Way. And, well, one thing led to another. What can I tell you? She was a real nice girl and a fun time. You never know what you're going to find when you're out there working in the real world. But for us baby boomers and Generation Xers, Yers, that was sort of like a rite of passage. But teens were in this next generation, the millennials, they just aren't wanting to work as much. And there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, it's kind of, a lot of people think, well, they're just lazy. The kids are just lazy and they don't want to work. And they want to live off of mom and dad and they don't want responsibility. And many of these kids don't even want a driver's license these days. Well, there was a study that was done by a group called BLS, and they did an analysis and set up a hypothetical to do this study over the last couple of years. And they wanted to find out why teenagers aren't working as much as they used to. And as we talked about, there were lots of theories as to why, but they really wanted to find out the main reason. And this recent study offers a completely different theory than they're lazy, or they want to live off the family, or they just want to play, and all that stuff. No, here's why. According to this study, it offers this theory. And it's backed up by pretty much solid data. Now, you can check this out on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, or Straight on the Point, that is. It appears that millions of teenagers aren't working because they're studying. Yeah, they're studying instead. Over the last few decades, education has taken up more and more of teenagers' time as school districts lengthen both the school day and the academic year. Interesting. Now, during the school year, academic loads have gotten heavier. Education has also eaten up teenagers' summers because more and more teenagers are going to summer school to get a heads up on college. Teens aren't going to summer school just because they failed a class. As I said, they want to get those first few classes in for college. Also, the enrolling in enrichment courses is taking a lot more precedent. And those courses take up a lot more time because they're usually courses that have some outside study, experiments, these types of things to do. In July of last year, more than 2 in 5 16 to 19-year-olds were enrolled in school. That's 4 times as many as were in 1985. So that's what this BLS data said. Students have more to learn in the 4 years of high school than ever before. In 1982, when I was 22, fewer than 1 in 10 high school graduates had completed at least 4 years of English class, 3 years of math, science, and social science, and 2 years of foreign language. This is why we fell behind in the world. We're like the 27th in the world in terms of education. They just stopped teaching the 3 R's, They stopped teaching it. I could never figure out why. By 2009, the most recent data in the U.S. Department of Education statistics, the share of grads taking those classes was almost 62%. So you can see it really increased. Well, that means more study load, more study time. So that's a different look at it. So it's not always your kids are just lazy bums. That's not always the reason. There's other reasons. So sometimes you got to think out of the box on that. And you got to kind of say, well, maybe it's not as it seems. One of the things I learned when I went to law school is nothing is as it seems. And nothing happens per chance. Hey, there's 7 ways. There's 7 ways to deal with toxic people. All right? So if you got some toxic people in your life, check this out. I'm going to go over them real fast. The first way to deal with toxic people in your life, yeah, you said it. Get rid of them. Leave them in the past. Move on. Get out of here. The second way, stop pretending their toxic behavior is okay. It isn't. Go away from me. What's wrong with you? You stupid or something? Number 3, stand up for yourself. It's right. Hey, who are you? Toxic people will try to back you down because misery likes to be miserable and around misery, right? Stand up for yourself. You know where you come from. Number 4, don't take their behavior personally because they're just toxic. It's them. It's not you. Don't take it personally. It's just business, ma'am. Just business. Set boundaries. Number 5. Hey, you do that and I'm out of here. You don't do that and I'm going to be okay with you. Number 6. Forgive, but do not forget. Trust and verify. Verify and trust. Trust and verify. You got that? 7. Don't overanalyze the situation. We all do that. Negative people are just suck. That's it. They suck. Get away from them. Yeah. Okay, so those are 7 ways to kind of deal with toxic people. And as we improve ourselves here on the Jesse T Show, just trying to help you out because it's the start of the week. It's a Monday in Southern California, and it's looking good. The weather's warm, a little bit smoggy here in the Southland, but the beaches were great this weekend. The mountains are terrific. It's really turning out to be a great, great summer, and we're looking forward to some really great days here in Southern California. Hey, there's 15 ways to improve your memory. Well, we need to have a lot of people improve their memory. And obviously, I'm going to go over them real fast. These are 15 ways to improve your memory. Now, I don't even know if you can remember these 15 ways to improve your memory. So you might forget about half of them. So if you forget about half of them because you don't have a memory to remember anything, then go to my website at facebook.com/Jesse Turrell. I posted this up. Write things down. Always write things down. One of the successful behaviors successful people do, before they go to bed at night, they write things down, at least 3 things they want to accomplish the next day. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. Chunking. Put things together that are all the same. Chunk things together. So, if you're talking about food, then put it all into one kind of thing. Don't talk about food, mathematics, and the theory of evolution. Okay? Talk about food. Chunk it down. Okay? All right? Another way that you can improve your behavior is create acronyms. Acronyms. Like, how about this acronym? COACH. Now, that spells coach, right? But you know what that stands for? Care of another's child. Yes, like the Coalition Against Human Trafficking. CAHT. CAHT. Coalition Against Human Trafficking, which I'm the director of here in Los Angeles. We fight in that stuff all the time. So create these cool acronyms. That's how you remember everything. That's a fast way, let me tell you. Practice. You just got to practice. And the best way to practice is to read. Your brain is a muscle. It's one giant muscle mass that most of you guys aren't using. You got to use your brain if you want it to be useful when you need it. I mean, I talked to somebody the other day, and I was trying to be cool, and I didn't want to say really strong words. So I said, do we have any challenges here? We don't have any challenges, do we? Our challenges are okay. And he looked at me, huh? Challenges? Huh? Well, I don't understand. Well, do we have any issues, challenges, Are we okay? We're all on the same page? I understand. I'm like, what? I don't get what you're saying. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this guy. He's like in his mid-20s. I couldn't believe it. I said, wait a second. And then I realized he has no understanding about this kind of abstract way of thinking or saying something that's not so strong. So I just came at him. I said, we got any problems? Oh, no, we don't have any problems. You got to read and make your mind grow. Okay? You got to do something in terms that's out of your realm of comfort. That helps your memory. Okay? Superior forces help your memory. So do something physical and active. So if you want to remember something, then you snap your fingers, or you clap your hands, or you move your foot. Or you do something physical, because that ties that element to something that you do physical. Then test and retest. Okay? Test, and retest. Make a story out of what you need to learn. Chunk it down and then make a story, because you'll remember this story because you made it up, and use what you've learned in the story. Say things out loud. People love to hear their own voices. They love to talk. Blah, 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 blah. In fact, that's one of the best things you do as an interviewer. You want to get people talking about themselves. Let them talk. Everybody likes to talk about themselves. You like to talk about yourselves. I used to talk in my sleep. I got in a lot of trouble. I used to talk to Mama T. One day I wake up, I'm talking in my sleep, and I'm going, oh, Brenda, right? I wake up the next morning, Mama T's arms across, she's looking at me going, who's Brenda? And I went, Brenda? Who's Brenda? She said, yeah, who's Brenda? I said, who, Brenda? She said, Brenda. I said, who's Brenda? She said, you tell me who's Brenda. I said, I don't know. That's always a good rule. I don't know, Brenda. You were talking in your sleep. Oh, Brenda was, I saw a movie. Talked my way out of that one, right? It's when I was dating Mama T, right? I don't think I really talked my way out. I think she just let me slide. So I learned something. I learned something that every girl I ever met before I was married to Mama T, I never called them anything but Mama T's name. So when a girl would say, my name is Sue, no, you're Mama T. My girl is Becky, no, you're Mama. I had so many Mama T's out there, so when I talked in my sleep, I went, oh, Mama T. I could get away. Oh, yes, the brown beauty is always on duty, feeding you words of wisdom. That's right, Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6. It's the Jesse T Show. Somebody buy those English cops some guns, please. The world according to Torero, you're straight on the point. Tomorrow, Benny the Jet Urquidez. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a great show right here on thepowervoices.com. Archived at The Power Voices on YouTube Live and Facebook.com/Jesse Torero. Hey, thanks Instagram. Thanks Periscope. Thanks everybody. Have a great day. The Brown Beauty is off duty. Monday Mayhem. Woo!